Last time, on the Adventures of Gaia, the party was seen and shot out of the air by some crazy, sick-looking geysens. It was gross. Like, boils and stuff. They seemed to be guarding the cave. Then Shiny crashed. He was a fan, and we all had to jump out because he was really hurt. I was super worried about you. The gross bad guys attacked us. We drove them away. I got some really great shots off. Thank you. So anyways, now we're heading into the dark cave for our enormous treasure. Better be good.
You've been trudging through the forest for what seems like forever now. You occasionally have heard the shouts of the boil-laden mercs chasing you from behind. You've gone off path, heading southward, generally trying to find this dark cavern that's supposed to be back here that the Beer Bowls family has hired you to try to find. Mr. Shiny has been trudging along with you. He's got armor and whatnot is all damaged. His cloak is tattered. He's got pieces hanging off. Some sparks happen occasionally. He seemed to be damaged from your last fight and from crashing into the ground and getting hit by one of those cannonballs or whatever they shot at you. When you take a close look at him, both you, Poppy and Gideon, Gideon, you can hear it, and Poppy, you can see it, is that his pieces seem to be just tiny little bits of it are just kind of like with a little electricity kind of pulling itself together, and little armor plate goes kind of clunk into place every now and then. He seems to have some kind of self-repairing mechanism. Mm-hmm. All right. You haven't heard the flashlight. You haven't seen the flashlights or heard the calls of the men following you for some time now. And the walls, the horizon of Gaia has turned into cavern walls. You could tell by the kind of smooth, crumpled, faux look of rock. And it's getting closer and closer. So you know you're reaching the end of this particular land. And the portal should be here somewhere shortly. You turn to talk to Blynk, and Blynk goes, pop, and disappears.
I suppose that was inevitable, wasn't it?
She was here, though, right? Like there was.
To my knowledge, there was another being. Yes.
Mr. Shiny holds up his hand, and little sensor comes out and scans where she was, or they were. Shiny goes, burp, burp. Okay, you're
I suppose we can...
yelling in the darkness. I see some lights.
Are we like far ahead, or is it pretty close, or is it far away? The lights and the yelling.
In the darkness, it's kind of hard to tell. You would imagine. Well, roll hearing.
I made it. Regular success.
Okay, you're listening. You're kind of, your goat ears kind of tilt to the side slightly. If you were in an open field, they could shoot you. You're that close. Because you're in a dark forest, they're about 200 meters away, which is around 600, 700 feet. If they can get a clear shot at you, they could be whizzing bullets at you, but most of Mr. Shiny's glowing parts are hidden by his cloak from the back. Shiny goes,
I don't suppose
stealth mode or something.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same. I don't suppose he has a less conspicuous mode.
Oh, he totally does.
That's right.
Do you? Do
you actually?
Mr. Shiny goes, shows you little bars. All these little bar graphs are really low.
Oh, you're all broken. Can you?
Hey, there they are! There! Go! You hear a crack of a bullet go flying over your heads.
I think we should run now, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Shiny goes,
go. Book it.
Okay, you think you could swear you hear sounds of those weird ostrich mechs they like to pilot. You can see the lights moving like crazy now in the bushes and the trees. You hear another crack. A bullet shot goes over your head. Okay, Mr. Shiny kind of turns around, starts walking backwards, and kind of covering your escape. This orange hexagonal energy shield goes over in front of him. There. For the shoot. Bullets are bouncing off it.
do we seem to be getting like more towards cavern area, or?
You definitely are. Every step you take, the horizon, the walls of this Gaialand are getting closer and closer. Probably within 50 meters, just around a bend, will probably be the portal.
I mean, he's a goat, so I mean, as fast as a blind goat man can go through the woods, which is considerably fast.
Well, it being dark is not hurting you at all. You're like,
No, not
you're
at all.
listening, you're smelling, you're moving around. Okay,
It's fine.
you're moving forward. Poppy, what are you doing exactly? Are you going with Gideon? Are you waiting with Shiny? Or
I won't leave Shiny behind, but I'm encouraging the party to move quicker.
okay, you're kind of jogging forward.
Faster moving better.
Gideon, you and Poppy stumble out of the bushes into kind of a little clearing. There's burned out husks of speeders and like all military-looking speeders with like burnt out, totally busted, kind of like 50 cal kind of guns on top. There's a good 11 of them jammed around. One's flipped over, all busted up. They look like they've a battle happened many years ago. And right in front of the Gaia portal, which you see there's a huge rock wall, kind of makeshift piled on top of where the Gaia portal should be.
So the portal's blocked, though.
It's got a makeshift kind of boulder wall in front of it. You can barely see part of it. You could see you could see a red blinking light behind one of the chinks in the rock. Get up! Okay, Mr. Shiny goes. Steps out into the clearing. He does a 360 scan. His head turns. The shield goes behind him. Bullets are hitting off it. When it hits his shoulder, those sparks come out.
Doctor, you take care of the door. We'll shoot them.
I don't.
Go!
You have a gun. Poppy, he just holds up the cane like.
Shiny goes and hands you an SMG as he walks by.
And how exactly am I supposed to blast the rocks to pieces? And I mean, what is the plan here exactly?
Okay.
I don't know, Doctor. Do something. Okay, I'm turning to shoot people.
Okay, you get behind one of the cars. Okay, the doctor.
Does he not have a cannon? Does he not have something that we can use?
Mr. Shiny's walking over to the rock wall.
Gideon gets behind cover, I guess.
All right, Poppy, you're looking. You see there's some shining lights come in. You see a dark silhouette of an individual come stepping out.
He's getting shot.
He's got a big boil on his back. He holds up a gun with a flashlight on it.
Ew.
Okay, here. Oh, here they are.
Gideon has probably never fired a gun in his life. So he's going to stand up and just, like, start pulling the trigger in vague directions of where things would be.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly how to roll that.
All right, let's roll to see if you're firing in even the vaguely correct direction.
He knows which direction because I'm sure he can smell.
Hear that.
He can smell and hear them.
Yeah.
But,
okay. You know they're over there. There's one. Your twig crack and breathing and heartbeat come from right over there.
Poppy saying under her breath, "Not me, doctor. Not me, doctor. Not me." Just in case.
Okay, you're like, oh, okay, she's over there. Oh, okay, I'll go over this way. Okay, Poppy.
Oh no, that's a crit fail. So no.
Oops. Okay, roll coordination.
Oh my god, I failed by 1. I got an 84. My coordination is 83.
Okay, you go shooting and a bullet bounces off a car, and 50% chance it hits Poppy, 50% chance it hits you. The dice shall decide.
Well, who's
99. A bullet bounces off and hits you in the shoulder. You take 30 points of physical damage.
That was me.
Yep, I'm afraid so.
Gideon's gonna like immediately throw down the gun, like just
You
onto the
successfully
ground.
shot yourself. Are you
Great.
still conscious? Does 30 points knock out?
No, he's fine. I mean, he's not fine, but he's conscious. Yes.
He has a bullet wound and he's now bleeding 10% of his damage per round.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, you can also, being a doctor, you can staunch that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I can, I want to doctor that.
The goat man accidentally shoots himself, bleats out a screech of pain and a muffled curse and something about robots, and sits, jumps behind the burnt out car, holding their shoulder. Okay, Poppy, you curse under your breath as you draw a bead on that one guy who came out.
Well, it's about time. I'm waiting for him.
He is about 80 meters off.
Oh, so he's out of my range.
Do you have anything that will let you see in the dark? Okay, you see his flashlight, so you have an extra -20. You can aim at the flashlight, basically.
How big is this clearing?
80 feet by 100 feet.
Okay.
Success! Critical, actually.
Okay, he shines the light every now and then. You see that the glint off his forehead. You aim there. You go pow. The bullet goes. Poof, you see blood come out of the light. The body goes. Falls on the ground.
Okay,
you hear more bullet cracks in your direction. Pow 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 pow. Bing! Just one hits the other side of your car, like on the other side of the car from you. All the rest of them go over your head. Most one or two hit Shiny's orange shield. You could see tons of lights coming out of the forest. There's more and more. You hear more and more yelling. It sounds like there's dozens and dozens of them.
Is Shiny blasting that wall or?
Yep, Shiny goes up. He goes. Raises up his hands. And he smashes the with a bunch of dust and a huge sound. He smashes the rock wall. He goes. His arm goes and changes to like a computer thing. Goes onto the red crystal. Sees it spinning around. It turns green. The door rolls over. You see black smoke and dust kind of transfers in between. He turns around.
Are there monsters in there?
You just see a black open maw of a portal.
Gideon is running without thinking about the monsters.
Okay, Gideon, you're holding your shoulder. You're kind of run up.
Yeah.
Bullets are going past you, hitting Shiny's shield.
Yeah, I ran too. You know, there might be something in here. Everything was pointed the wrong way. Okay. And that GM just made a scary laugh. Just saying.
You can't say that in character.
Okay, see, this little robot piece comes flying out of Shiny. It floats there. It's got a little head on it. It's got like a little kind of metallic base. It's floating in the air. It goes. Shiny goes. It flies off into the forest and starts shooting these weird little laser blasts. Bullets start trying to hit it, but it's quite small. It's only about yay big. One guy steps around the corner, shoots him, he falls on the ground, stunned.
It went behind us.
It went it's behind you as you're running, yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
To cover your escape.
Have we gone through the portal?
Great.
Yes, you've made it to the portal. Poppy, you've made it to the portal. You feel a deadly cold chill coming out of it.
Oh, good. That's always great.
Smell a terrible sulfurish, rotting meat smell coming out of there. Mr. Shiny goes. He's walking backwards towards you, holding up his hands, deflecting bullets. His face goes out of his back. He goes.
Yeah, well, I look at the doctor. At least it smells like they're dead. Okay, I jump in.
without there's no way to argue with that. Yeah, Gideon's gonna follow.
Okay, you go. You kind of jump into the black darkness and cold. Mr. Shiny follows you in, and the door goes. As bullets go, you see a whole bunch of them come out now. Start shooting with automatic rifles, plasma bolts. One goes, and Shiny's shield fails. He gets shot. He spins around, goes down on his knee, and the door goes and shuts. All you see is the lights coming from Shiny. They're going dimmer, and sparks flying out of his chest. And you're in the blackness and the cold.
Oh, gross.
Oh, good.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Gideon.
Hot blood trickles out of your wound, Gideon, that you tried to sew up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gideon.
There's a bloop, bloop sound as a few drops of blood. Bloop, bloop, fall in the water.
The water. Gideon's gonna sit kind of against the wall. How does Gideon fix himself? At least the robotic parts of himself.
Let's see if entropy works on you. Yep, it does.
Okay.
So cool. It's mostly biosynthetic. It's got metal pieces, but it's just biological bits underneath.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same way. Your cybernetic pieces have nanotechnology, and they will eventually self-repair, about at the
Okay.
rate that a normal body would heal.
Then yeah, he's gonna do whatever the hell he can do to try and fix things for now. Is he functional still?
Okay, Shiny goes, stands up, turns, goes, a red laser that's like as tall as the cavern goes, and then the horizontal one goes, scans all of you and in the cavern up ahead. Shiny goes, makes a little map. Basically, it's a cavern, as you can imagine. There's molded kind of natural rock, stalactites, stalagmites, huge pools of water. I think it's water, blackish, oily water. That's bone-chilling cold up to your ankles.
Oh.
And it goes off. It's only about 15 feet wide, and it goes off as far as you can detect in kind of a snaky, longer pattern. Shiny looks at you, Gideon. You see out of his eyes, you see his white light goes, and he heals you for 100 points.
Oh, okay.
He turns and looks at Dead Poppy, and he heals you for 100 points.
Heal yourself. And, it stinks in here.
And he goes, little red X comes up.
Well, maybe eat something. Here's a rifle.
Okay, you give him a rifle?
What about eating this? Eating stuff seems to help in the past.
No. Were he organic, I
Yeah. Okay. Are you gonna be okay, Shiny? Yuck.
He goes through. He shows his stats. He's taken quite a bit of damage. She's all busted up and doesn't look very good. His eye kind of hangs off.
Try to put it in.
Yo, clink. He goes. A check mark goes. Hey, he goes. A little hologram because of his hand. You see, there's a map, and then way down, much like the scale changes. You see this little bit of where you are, and way over here. See, there's this light, this kind of light goes. Whoa.
You want us to go all the way down here?
Okay, you hear the dullest thuds of something on the Gaia door behind you.
Well, I don't think that going backwards is exactly the greatest option for us right now. So we do as an improvement. I suppose we should. I think we should be going, right?
I guess the crystal's black. Does that mean we're good?
Admittedly,
Let's vote for good. Right?
Great. That sounds just perfect with me. And Gideon starts walking.
Okay. Poppy has both guns out.
Oh yeah. Good. That's a good thing to do. Yeah. Gideon pulls out the sword.
I should have worn pants.
Okay,
keep
so
walking.
you're in you look great in the shorts.
No pants.
She's got the stockings. I mean, that's almost pants, right?
Almost.
Sadly, the boots are not well made enough, and they are leaking.
My boots?
I was gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were rolling to see if stockings counted as pants. 50-50 chance here.
50-50 chance.
Stockings pants. Is there anything Gideon can hear up ahead, or is it?
My boots are leaking.
Besides Poppy complaining, is there anything Gideon can hear?
So cold.
All right, Gideon, roll the -10 because there's a incessantly complaining pretty girl there.
And it really smells.
Yeah, that's a regular success. We're all good.
Okay, you don't hear any movement up ahead. You hear dripping water. You can hear the passage of air. But the air here is cold.
Water leaking into a boot.
Squish.
Is there anything organic, like heartbeat sounds or anything, or just no?
Only Poppy. And you can hear the constant hum of Mr. Shiny's internal mechanisms trying to heal himself. He's not very agile right now at all. He bumps into the stone.
It's okay, Shiny.
He sounds like a washing machine that's off its kilter.
Gideon hands the not sword part of his cane back to Shiny, like You wouldn't have any use for this right now, would you? Just to, balance, right?
He takes it. He tries to walk with it. It wiggles like snap.
Maybe not. Now Gideon just has a sword.
It's okay, Shiny. It's okay, daughter.
He goes. He gives you the half back.
Admittedly, it
Kane's
was
there
a...
last year. Don't worry. Let's go.
Things are getting from bad to worse quickly.
Oh, God.
Great. We're all fine. We're not being shot anymore.
+2 for Poppy being positive.
For optimism.
Your optimism score is really high.
All right, you make your way through the disgusting cavern. It goes up, it goes down, it moves around. It's not all covered in water. There's places where you're able to get past without being in water. About an hour and 20 minutes pass. You see Shiny is healed up somewhat.
Does it smell any better?
Sadly, the smell is still fairly terrible.
Actually Googling if goats can smell better than humans, because would this be worse for Gideon? And I'm not sure.
Yes.
But Gideon looks at Poppy and says, before you complain about that smell again, just know that my sense of smell is much more... it's much stronger than yours.
Daughter, you don't know that. I would like to note that Poppy's sense of smell is 26.
Oh my god.
But she complains like it's 300.
Gideon's is 81. So yes, it's much better. Regardless of being a goat. Just on pure stats, it's much better.
In fact, Gideon, you can roll your olfactory.
Oh, good. 70, so that makes it regular success.
You're pretty sure that there is some rotting biomass in here, deeper in the cavern.
Are we out of the water?
At this moment, you are. You walked up into kind of like a plateau. There are like little red kind of crystals that glow a little bit in the dark, making a strange, almost macabre kind of starlight visage. There's stalactite and stalagmites you have to kind of dodge. You can hear there's dripping of water all over the place. But other than that, what you think might be normally a nice sight, with it so cold and there's something so tangibly dark in the cavern that it sullies the whole experience.
Since Gideon can smell there's something rotting in here, is there any way he could locate what it was? Or is it just everywhere?
You can't quite tell what direction it's coming from. Okay. And making matters worse is underneath the kind of outcropping you're on, there's two stairwells that come around the other side of it, and that the cavern now splits off into 4 separate tunnels. 2 on the left go low, 2 on the right go a little higher.
Was this what the map said? I don't remember that.
Did we have a map beyond the actual portal? I don't recall anything.
Hole.
Yeah, you did not. The map did not say anything about this. Gideon, roll pattern recognition.
Okay. It's pretty high. So hopefully...
You are a doctor, after all.
It's true.
I'm sure it didn't have this. I'm sure it didn't have 4 arms.
Critical success.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. You can tell, you can deduce by the senses of smell that the rotting biomatter is coming from the 2 left tunnels, and
down.
that the 2 right tunnels, the ones that go down, the 2 right tunnels that go up are a little bit elevated. That's where the cold air is coming from.
Shiny, I thought... I don't know this is going on. Shiny, I thought it was just one big thing with a little glowy thing at the end.
Poppy...
Yep.
The smell, as you have been complaining about for the last hour and a half...
I'm just pointing it out.
Pointing out aggressively for the last hour and a half without stopping. The smell does seem to be coming from this direction, and he points at the left. But if you would prefer, the cold is coming from this direction, and he points to the right. As for
cold, that's the choices.
Yes, I am asking you, should we stink or should we cold? Yes.
Melt. Shiny, where's the glowy thing?
We makes the hologram. See, the hologram's a little bit more stable now. It only fuzzes a couple times.
You're doing better. Good job.
You've gotten closer, and okay, Shiny goes, starts scanning both passages. See, it gets a little bit of a tundra of these little passages kind of go down. This one kind of go up a little bit, and it looks like you can't tell if it's up or down. It's like if it's these two are here, it's like right back over to deep this way. They could go down and go back up, or they could go up and come back down. You can't quite tell.
Well, the smell is definitely organic. If something is living in here, it would be to the left. So if we would like to avoid whatever is living or lived here at some point.
Right, it is. Okay, Poppy turns.
Okay, all of a sudden there's kind of a kind of sound, and from somewhere, you can't even tell where, and suddenly air is rushing past you from the four tendrils and going behind you.
All of them?
Yep. Your hair kind of fuzz. You have any little furs or hairs or cape that kind of ruffle in the wind a bit, ominously.
Did that change our minds?
Admittedly, we do have to move forward, right?
Well, now it's cold everywhere, and that one's stinky and cold, so let's go to just cold. Poppy walks.
Gideon shakes his head, follows, I guess.
All right, you go down the right stairwell, and you start trying to go up the right tunnels. Okay, just then, Gideon, you hear some echoes coming from behind you down the tunnels. Sounds like footfalls, metal clinking.
Gideon's gonna push past Poppy and Shiny as best a large goat man can, and start heading towards the not as steep one, just without saying much at all.
That's the one you choose, huh? Okay.
Great, yeah.
You realize there's no difference. I'm playing this up. All right.
One of those like blade things, like swings from the wall. You know, like what are the like Skyrim traps? That's what it is.
Oh, traps? Did you say? Okay.
Oh no!
Oh wait, I have sleight of hand.
You do. With sleight of hand, you can disarm traps.
Does it help me detect them? I have detective.
Detective will help you detect traps. What's your detective again?
Amazingly good.
Absolutely fantastic. That's not a number.
Depends if I'm rolling off of PR or if I'm rolling off of my senses, because some are better than others. If it's off PR, yeah, it's really high.
It would be PR.
Okay.
Mr. Shiny has got headlamps on. He's lighting up every kind of area for you and him.
It's 245 with PR.
Okay. Does Poppy notice things? Like, does she care, or this is just like when she tries to do it?
Okay, here's the thing. From what I know about Poppy, would Poppy really be checking for traps right now? Or is this what Melissa would do?
If she remembers to check for traps.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's a memory thing. What is her memory again? Is it in the teens?
It's not so good.
No, it's better than it has been. She's been
Okay.
working on it. She's been playing Luminosity. It's
Oh, right.
35.
The average memory for the average guy is in his 50.
That's not so bad.
It's still a few points under.
Yeah, but I thought it was in the teens, so I mean that's better than I thought it was.
Okay. Well then, for whoever wants to notice, you can't help but not notice. Gideon, you do notice with your sense of smell old rotted blood coming from the two drag marks where you could see something bleeding large has been dragged down the left tunnels.
Gideon turns right back around without saying anything.
Like straight into us?
Yep, just immediately turns around.
No,
Oh,
sorry.
Doctor.
So if these are the 4 tunnels you're going on, you decide to go on this one. I mean, these 2 ones are go lower.
Oh, okay.
The
So
lower ones where you smelt the rotting biomass.
Oh, my bad. So the lower ones are where the drag marks are.
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, Gideon was gonna head towards the right path, not as steep.
Yeah.
Whatever confusing language works here.
I really could have drawn this to make it easier, but
It's
but now
fine.
we're leaving, so it doesn't matter anymore. Okay. All right, you start making your way through. It's quite small. Mr. Shiny really has to shrink himself and kind of walk his way through. Gets his hands kind of. Are you in front of Poppy or behind? Poppy, are you in front of Mr. Shiny, behind Mr. Shiny? Gideon said he went first.
Yeah, Gideon's in the front for some god-awful reason.
Yes, Gideon. Why are you +1 for being brave?
It's not bravery, it's annoyance.
It's more annoyance. It is more. I'm annoyed.
Absolutely.
Let's get out of here.
Let's go. Let's just get out of here. Yeah, no,
Poppy's
it's absolutely.
probably in front of Shiny to protect him.
Okay, so Shiny's going last. Okay, you guys are. You could barely see the light hand lamps. Poppy, you can see the light coming past Shiny, kind of shadowing your form, shadows it a bit, and hitting Gideon's matted fur with some mud on his metal pieces. You marvel a little bit at the shoddy construction of his cybernetic pieces.
We should get you a comb, Doctor.
I do think a comb would be the beginning of. No, honestly, I'm not sure I'd use a comb at all. Perhaps a human head would be something you could get me if we're talking about presents
head?
now. Yes, a head.
Oh, I assumed you liked that head. Okay. One
Okay,
head for you.
the goat tongue's half sticking out. The eye there. Looking.
Yeah. As much as like Gideon can look, like, are you f***ing kidding me? Like
In the dark, Poppy's like,
in the dark. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's
Okay,
fine,
Poppy, roll detective.
no. How much does Gideon like his goat head?
critical success.
Okay, it just strikes you that, wait a minute, this is not the proper head. This head's been literally, you can see the sew marks. It's been sewed onto this body, and the cybernetic pieces have been added.
Doctor, did you know that?
Did you know?
Were you aware?
Hold on, let me roll C to see.
Oh my god.
100! Did you know that's not your head? Some things have been...
Here's Gideon's response right here.
Yeah, he
I
looks-
don't... Why would someone do... Maybe now's not the time, but we should have a drink and talk about this, because
She says as her boots squish, 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 squish.
Yeah,
As they're
you
climbing
know,
up this rock.
I think that maybe we could find you a head.
you know, actually, this is the first moment in time, actually, I've ever considered that perhaps this is the wrong head for me.
Well, you should... Someone... That is not your head.
You know,
Plus one.
that sounds just perfect. A drink, maybe 7, and we can talk about it. Never. And then Gideon keeps walking.
Shiny, did
So-
you notice that wasn't his head? I didn't even notice. I assumed it was his head.
The absolute-
I know nothing is strange in Gaia, but it's not. And I think he's sensitive about it. So don't pick it up.
Gideon, who can definitely hear you talking, just turns around
Yeah, it's,
and like
anyone, even
like,
a deaf person could hear them talking because it's a tunnel, and so it echoes the noise.
It's a tunnel. Gideon's hearing is like 3 times what it should be. Just like
Yes.
turns around and is like, "Are we moving or are we chatting? Because I don't think we can do both at the same time."
Oh, I can absolutely do both at the same time. Right, Shiny? We do it all the time. Remember when we were in Skyway and we walked forever? You carried me for a while. Doctor, what's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing at all. We should be moving. I unfortunately do not have the cognitive ability to walk and talk. So why don't we, for the next however long, not talk about anything, especially the goat head.
All right, while you're
How about
talking,
that?
you make it out into a kind of a clearing. You kind of turn around behind you talking, and you make it out into like you feel the cold air as you get into a clearing.
Well, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. But then we're just gonna. All I'll be thinking about is my squishy feet. But whatever, fine. Squish, squish.
Okay,
Squish.
all right. And then Poppy, you come out, and Shiny's behind you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you come out into kind of like a giant room. It's a good 300 feet in diameter. And there is strange screens all over the roof and the walls, some with fuzz on them, some with different visions. You can hear just somewhere in the distance, like the volume of one of them turned right down to like 1, so you just barely hear the talking, like the high bits of the talking, but you can't make out the talking and totally. There's hundreds and hundreds of these screens. In the center of the room, it's all dusty and old. It seems to be hewn out of the rock, and there's stalactites and stalagmites still on the occasional periphery here or there. But otherwise, the room is seems to be chiseled and hewn out of the rock. You see on your left-hand side and on your right-hand side, the other portals all come into here. This is where the cold's coming from. And you presume it's coming from in the center dais. In the center dais, there's kind of like a 30-foot stone platform. You see these weird symbols around the wall of the dais. And on top of that is this giant black crystal that has a gray smoke coming off of it, almost like black ice. Maybe it feels like that. There's it's pumping coal out, like a radiating cold that's blasting through your bodies. And the weird, strange black crystal that's around 10 feet high, maybe 5 feet wide, 6 feet kind of in the middle, dominates the center of the room, as the TVs are around it, bathing it in a strange bluish gray light. So Gideon, you're walking into the room and you finish your sentence, and then the cold hits you and you stop.
I'm gonna say.
Okay, we're talking again. It's freezing. What is with this place?
Could you do me a favor? I can detect some things, but not everything. What exactly is this place here?
Okay, Poppy makes faces at game. Well, there's screens everywhere. There's a hideous. Wait, is it sparkly?
No.
Oh, hideous, cold, black.
Seems
thing.
to absorb light.
Ew. I think it's sucking up energy. Oh, it's like a Gaia crystal, but the opposite. Instead of giving energy, it's sucking it. It's an anti-Gaia crystal. Ooh, I'm trademarking that. All right, so what are the TV showing? Fuzz?
It seems to be news programs, TV shows from all of different places of Gaia, and even more places than you've ever seen. There's lands there that you've never seen. There's peoples there you've never seen. Huge. There's one TV show that shows a man and a woman trying to move across a desert landscape. A dark-haired man and a woman with long silvery hair with cloaks. They're trying to move across a landscape, and there's a huge wall in front of them. The shelf of the wall must be at least 1 kilometer high, and there's a thin crack of perfectly vertical, straight opening in it, and they're trying to make it through. There's a sandstorm around them. You see on another TV screen, there's flickering. It looks like some kind of a circus, and there's some guy with tan skin, black eyes, and white lines. He's got his hands up and he's casting some kind of spell. And there's another woman there with green hair, and there's little constructs around or something, and they're doing some kind of.
It's really boring TV.
A circus performance.
Maybe
you see actually over in the corner.
Do I recognize any land, or is this like made up stuff?
You see what looks like Skyway, actually, which you just mentioned. There's a picture of all these flying ships with balloons on top and like ships on the bottom, and they're got flags and streamers hanging off them, and they're floating around, and you see the colorful sashes and colorful banners of Skyway.
Maybe it's. I think it might be TV's into spying on really boring stuff. I don't know. There's Skyway. We've been there, right, Shiny? Do you think this room is like that weird room with the power room that we were in before? Remember that room with the people?
No, this is not a Gaia superstructure room. It's way too roughly hewn. It looks like someone has chiseled it out of the rock here and roughed in the power cables and whatnot and kind of tinkered around with the power cables and the TV screens and all the computers and the machinery required to get this in here. This is not a Gaia. Does not look like a Gaia superstructure room.
I think it's one of those stinky junkers. There's, like, it's been junkered.
It doesn't look like anyone has been here for quite some time. There's kind of a frosty ice on the dais. You don't see any footsteps. It hasn't been. It doesn't look like it has been disturbed for a while. Doctor, you're smelling dried, fetid blood to your left, coming from those two tunnels.
Can I see my breath?
Yes, you can.
So cold.
See, it comes out and kind of billows in strange shapes, turns into a sphere, and kind of floats around like a bubble.
Does it float towards the crystal?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it does. He goes.
The crystal just stole my breath.
Slowly, kind of moves towards it.
I'm gonna say Gideon walks towards the crystal and does not touch it with his hands,
Doctor.
but taps on it with the end of his sword. Since it's not a cane anymore, it's just a sword. Shiny.
What if you're activating it? I wouldn't.
It's a piece of rock. There's not really much to activate, is there?
What if it's like a Gaia crystal? Poppy's moving back. Squish, squish, squish.
You walk back right into Shiny. Boom. He looks down.
I'm pretty sure it's bad news.
Okay, you walk towards the dais. You step up on top. You just put one foot up on top of the dais. You take one step on top of it. You're kind of fiddling around with your sword. Ting, 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 ting. The metallic sound. Ting, ting. Kind of echoes around the room. And the breath that kind of been traveling in front of you, the bubble kind of wafts over to the black crystal and hits it. You hear this. You hear a screaming.